This morning, the National Democratic Congress is hosting its first weekly press conference where we would engage you, the general public, through the media and talk a little about our major achievements, talk about some of the things that we have been able to successfully achieve as manifesto promises, and also dive into the happenings of the party. This morning on the panel, we have our General Secretary, Honorable Andy Williams, and we also have Tevin Andrews, the Honorable Tevin Andrews, who is the Member of Parliament for Carriacou and Petit Martinique, and in particular the Minister. But he is here in his capacity as a Member of the National Democratic Congress and also the Member of Parliament for Carriacou, Petit Martinique. So I would give you a brief update as it relates to successes of the National Democratic Congress Party and our administration, and I will hand over to the first presenter, who would be the Honorable Tevin Andrews, then followed by the Honorable Andy Williams. Now, this morning in particular, we are very pleased to announce that the National Democratic Congress has been able to secure the property to commence the construction of its National Resource Center. This National Resource Center will be the first in the OECS, and we are pleased that we are leading the way to be able to achieve this. The mortgage payment is due sometime this year, and we will be making so due to the hard work and sweat of our members and the general membership. In particular, we would like to recognize those in the diaspora chapters. Also, we would like to update you that over the last 3 years, we have been able to successfully employ 50 members within the party structure, to which we have been able to establish a business and be able to employ them full-time over the last 3 years. So that's 50 by the 3, which gives you a total of 150. We are also pleased to announce that we have made significant strides as it relates to completing the Constitution review, and in particular, the sticking point with group membership we have been able to rectify that, and we will be making this public in due course. By way of information, just to update you, the group membership of the National Democratic Congress going forward is predominantly going to be about institutions, organizations, associations. It's very different from individual membership, and it will have stipulations. Group members, for example, will not have voting rights. So once the document is completed, we would be able to share this with the public and our general membership. Additionally, we would like to say that we are steadily completing our audit of our party's manifesto and the constituency manifestos of every member of parliament caretaker who ran in the last general election, to compare, to ensure that what we said and set out that we were going to achieve, that we will do so. That audit is expected to be completed sometime by the end of this month and will be made public in the form of a document. Additionally, we are pleased to announce that we have successfully started and is in process of implementing policies that we were able to place in the manifesto for the last general election, and now in government we are successfully doing so. So without any further ado, I would now hand you over to the Honorable Tevin Andrews, who would give you an update on the situation in Carriacou and Petit Martinique post-Hurricane Beryl, and also talk about his constituency achievements from a manifesto standpoint from campaign to now. Tevin?
Thank you, Mr. PRO, Honorable Runner Head. Pleasant good morning to our listeners that are listening to the live stream on social media, and of course to our distinguished journalists and friends that are in the room. Pleasant good morning to all of you. I am indeed extremely happy as we are now celebrating 3 years in office, reflecting on where we came from as a political organization to where we are, and of course delivering on some of the promises that were made during the election campaign. You know, oftentimes it's said that politicians see things when they want to get into office, And when they get into office, it's a different story. I'm happy to be part of a team that has kept most of its promise 3 years and counting, in spite of the difficulties we have faced along the way. And in Carriacou and PT Martinique, we can talk about the investments that we have made in particular to agriculture. Because we did say that we are going to work hand in hand with our farmers and the local committee and organizations in Carriacou to improve agriculture. And so far, for the last 3 years, we have made significant investments, surpassing over $2 million. And as most of you might be aware, we've just recently opened a state-of-the-art fishing center, which was promised by the NDC. And I'm happy to see that we have delivered on that promise, making general improvements to the sector by purchasing of equipment and among a number of other things. So those are some of the investments that has been taking place in agriculture to help strengthen food security and help strengthen the industry on the island. And the intention is to modernize our agriculture practices on the island of Carriacou and PT Martinique. We can talk as well about the investment in tourism. We did say that we're going to try our best to improve and enhance our tourism product. One of those promises have been kept in the launching of our first underwater sculpture park in the Grenadines. So it's not the first underwater sculpture park in Grenada, but it's the first underwater sculpture park in the Grenadines, and I'm extremely happy and proud about that. As a matter of fact, a number of visitors come to Carriacou just to dive the underwater sculpture park. And a number of people from the Grenadines, a lot of the tourists from the Grenadines also visit to do just that. There are more work that needs to be done as it relates to the development of other sites, attraction sites, etc., and to help build our tourism product. But I think we've made some serious investments, and there are more investments to be made in that front. Of course, critical infrastructure, more so our road infrastructure, and I've always said that it is part of the responsibility of any member of parliament and minister and government to build roads. That's our responsibility. And I'll maintain that until the day I leave politics. That is our responsibility. So I'm happy that we are continuing with our mandate in improving our road infrastructure in Carriacou. Most people would know that Carriacou has one of the best road networks. I'm sure my good friend, Ms. Simon, knows that Carriacou, on your usual visit to Carriacou, you know that Carriacou has a wonderful road network. But it's about improving the infrastructure because for many years it has been neglected, and we have to do what we have to do. So one of the major road projects that we've undertaken is that of the Bel Air Road project, which connects our hospital, and that project is going well. It's roughly about 80% complete, and I'm extremely happy about that. But there are several other road projects that are on the way and has been completed. Another significant project, a number of people may not understand the significance of it, but to the people of Carriacou and PT Martinique, we do. And that is the launch, or the establishment rather, of our driver's license unit. Now, the drivers in Carriacou had to wait sometime up to 6 months before getting their laminated driver's license be sent back to Carriacou. And it created some problems for us because oftentimes the receipt that we normally, of course, pay in the treasury and we get a receipt and so on. And that's what we had to use to let the police and others know that we've paid for our license and it's on the way. And oftentimes the receipt the ink fades off, and we have to go in a lot of explaining mode for the police and the authorities. Long story short, we have launched this unit, and I'm happy that apart from St. George's, Carriacou is the only other parish that has its own driver's license unit. And hopefully the other parish will follow suit. But this is indeed a major step in the right direction for our drivers on the island, Carriacou and PT Martinique. Another investment that we've made, and I'm extremely happy about that, as most of you might have been aware, after COVID, or even before COVID, we had limited air services to and from Carriacou via SVG. This administration has partnered with SVG, and we have moved from no flights to having flights 3 times per week, and from 3 days a week to now 6 days a week. And our intention is to have flights every day for the week. And we are working assiduously with the Greater Tourism Authority and SVG Air, of course with the Ministry of Carriacou and PT Matic to make that happen. There is also plans to ensure that our airport have the adequate mechanisms so that we could accommodate night landing. And there is also plans on the way to change the name of the airport in Carriacou to the Hubert Augustus Blaise Airport. So those are plans that are on the way for Carriacou and PT Martinique. Hurricane Beryl. Taking into consideration all of that, and of course there were several other plans that were in the pipeline to be accomplished. Then we were struck by Hurricane Beryl, one of the strongest hurricanes recorded to hit us in Carriacou and Grenada, destroying about 98% of housing in Carriacou and PT Martinique, from our hospital to our airport to our police station, our medical stations, private homes, businesses. Everything went on a standstill. I'm happy to announce that all of those critical infrastructure, our hospital, our airport, our schools, all of our schools except that for Dover, and of course plans are on the way to reconstruct Dover, and the Ministry and the Minister of Health with the Ministry of Carriacou and PT Martinique will discuss go into more details as to how we intend to do that. Our police station, administrative buildings, we've started the construction of homes, Project Build Back Better, social development homes, containerized homes or prefabricated homes. We've also received donations from a charitable organization from Trinidad, Hands That Serve, that gave 27 prefabricated homes. And of course, the government continues with its support to homeowners who have lost their homes and whose homes were partially damaged, so that those material support which we're giving, they can get back onto the feet in the shortest possible time frame. A number of businesses have reopened, and as I stated, our schools have been reopened. Our hospital is now functional, and as of last week, Friday, our health centers, 2 out of the 4 which was badly damaged, is up and running, and the other 2 work is taking place, or expected to take place soon. And of course, Carriacou and PT Martinique, the cleanup process is almost completed. In terms of the debris cleanup around the island, that has been cleaned up, and everything was placed in several playing fields. All playing fields are cleared except Harveyville, and as we speak, work is taking place at the Harveyville playing field. The first 8 containers of hurricane debris was shipped out of Carriacou, and another shipment is expected to get out of Carriacou in the coming days or so. So again, I must commend the Solid Waste Management Authority and its partner Cadwell, a company based in Miami, who is making this possible. So these are just some of the updates, and just letting you know that while we have achieved a lot within the 3 years, taking into the context of Beryl and the damage that it has caused to Carriacou and PT Martinique, and while we have achieved a lot since Beryl, there is still a lot of more work to be done. It's 11 months. A number of people are still homeless. There are still people that are living in terrible conditions. There is still need for help from our international partners and from our churches and various organizations. So I'm not turning down any help. All help and any help is needed at this time, especially when it comes to housing. But we are trying our best. This is the final stage of our recovery. The final stage is the most difficult stage. 7-8 years after Hurricane Maria struck Dominica, they're still recovering. The point I'm making is that the recovery stage is the most difficult stage. The rebuilding stage of the recovery is the most difficult stage, and we are at the final stage. But we've made some significant progress, but there's still a lot more work that needs to be done. I look forward to your questions later on in the press conference. Thank you very much.
Right. Thank you, Honorable Tevin Andrews. And also, we have with us the General Secretary. But I would like to just state that the National Democratic Congress post-Hurricane Beryl has been able to make the single largest donation as a political party to the people of Carriacou and Petit Martinique. This had been made possible through some kind assistance from our local church organizations. So as a party, we have been leading in front with the recovery and the people in Carriacou and Petit Martinique post-Hurricane Beryl. So we're very pleased of the response efforts, taking into consideration what Minister just raised, that it's just the start, and that he still have a lot more work to be done, particularly in the area of housing. We would like to make the point that we would call on anyone to support government's effort as its leading administration in office to assist in the rebuilding and the reconstruction of homes in Carriacou and Petit Martinique. All of us, we can do this. We believe that disasters are difficult, but there is a light at the end of the tunnel. So, Honorable Andy Williams, the mic is now yours.
Thank you very much, Piero. And a special good morning to everyone. And I want to start by just telling my comrade, Tevin Andrews, but to commend him on the wonderful work he's doing in Carriacou. When I visited Carriacou last year, and I saw the devastation, that took place in Carriacou, to me, it was worse than Hurricane Ivan in Grenada. And, traveling back to Carriacou now, and seeing the way how Carriacou is developing, it really shows your character and your discipline and your courage and your commitment to this country. And I applaud you for that, comrade. Good morning to everyone once again, and good morning to the people of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique, to the members of the media here in this room, and to all Grenadians tuning in online, near and far. This morning, I come before you filled with pride and gratitude and a deep sense of purpose. We are in a very special month, the month of June, a month that holds great significance for Grenadians and for our political movement. June is often considered a month of planning and planting, as reflected in our celebration of Corpus Christi. It is a time when seeds are sown with hope, with care, and with expectations. 3 years ago, a seed was planted. On June 22nd, 2022, the people of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique had a chance to sow a seed. On the 23rd, that seed of hope went to the ballot box, and you, the people, elected the National Democratic Congress to lead our nation into a new era. Today, we mark 3 years. 3 years of committed leadership, 3 years of rebuilding trust, and 3 years of delivering on the promise of transformation. This is a milestone worth observing because it belongs to the people. We begin this celebration by saying, thank you. Thank you for the confidence you placed in us. And thank you for walking this journey with us. As a party, we recommit ourselves to the mission you gave us, to lead with integrity, compassion, and vision, to serve not some, but all Grenadians. And so, doing, today, we are declaring the month of June the month of celebration. To honor not only the 3 years that has passed in government, but to celebrate the journey this party from its inception to now. This is a celebration to the people of the NDC, of its legacy, and of the indelible impact it has made on this country. The NDC is one of Grenada's most resilient institutions, and this is worth celebrating. As we look ahead this year, we will be celebrating a milestone of this party. And in doing so, we will be planning a series of activities during the year to celebrate the inception of this party from 1987 to now. Folks, NDC has done a lot for Grenada, and now it is time to bring that to the forefront, to share, to document it, and to celebrate it boldly. In these 3 years, we've been in overdrive, working tirelessly, both at the national level and the constituency level. Nationally, here's what we have done so far. We stabilized and grew the economy, even in the face of global uncertainty. We championed workers' rights and are building a fair and secure future for all. We reduced costs and improved access to education. And we are seeing in Nulo and Tansisi, for example, increase in students enrolling in those institutions. We've invested in the creative economy and began to unleash Grenada's immense talent. We restored Grenada's global image, forging stronger relationships and attracting new partnerships, for example, Africa and so. But transformation doesn't happen in a capital. It starts in the communities across all 15 constituencies. We have been improving road and infrastructure, upgrading housing and living conditions, building community centers, offering training and skills program, reviving community spirit through sports and culture. These are the stories that move the most, the ones where people's lives are touched directly. We recognize, though, that sometimes Mary in village A doesn't know what is happening in village B, or John in village C doesn't know what's happening in village D. And in the same constituency, people may be unaware of the work taking place. So today, I'm proud to announce a new initiative that puts people in the driver's seat of accountability and awareness. We call it the People's Check-in. This is a series of constituency bus tours where citizens will be taken across their constituencies and communities to see, inspect, and experience the progress for themselves. We begin this journey in the Great South, and we will roll it out across every constituency. Sometimes we, as MP, as caretakers, we do things in our community, and we may see it, we may post it on social media, or you may see it on news, but the people themselves do not get a chance to physically experience those projects and programs. And this series of bus tours will be aimed at just that, so that you can see the work that we are doing in their constituency and you can appreciate it. But this is not just a tool. It's a chance for reflection, accountability, and connection. It's about bringing the people along the journey they voted for. As we continue these tours, we will also be reviewing our manifesto commitments. We are assessing priorities and mapping out the road ahead for the next 2 years. Because transformation is not just a speech. It's not a promise. It's a series of deliberate actions, and it begins in the constituency. So to every supporter, every citizen, every media house, we invite you to celebrate with us, to reflect with us, to plan with us, because this is your government, this is your party, and this is your moment. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Andy Williams. So at this point, we will take questions, and while we have specified that this is a party press conference, we do have cabinet ministers, but we want to stress again that it is a party press conference, and we will take questions from the media as relates to the achievement of the National Democratic Congress and its 3 years in office. But we are not only stopping in June, we also want to recognize the month of July to say on July 8th of 2008, the National Democratic Congress was also victorious in the general elections. And those 2 dates, June 23rd, 2022 and July 8th, 2008, will be etched in the memories and history and halls of the National Democratic Congress as long as the organization lives. So without any further ado, we'll take questions. We do have media houses inside and we do have online as well. We would provide the media houses who are in-house now to go with their questions, and then we would take questions from our online panel.
Good morning.
Morning, Stricker.
Stricker?
Yes, sorry.
Well, look, jokes. Hey, you trying to wake me up? I'm awake. Morning, MPs, and good morning to Miss Samantha and my newest member of MWAG here that I'm trying to recruit as we speak, and Mr. Maitland on the mic, and the members of the media who are in the room. I have a lot of questions, but let's start with the membership issue that you mentioned, Piero.
Yes.
You said membership, or any organization can join the NDC?
Right. So group membership. It is specific to groups. You have trade unions, financial institutions, that sort of thing. So what I would say is that we have what is called our membership card, right? Which is a card similar to an identification card. So this card will be able to permit members of our organization, once we have group membership, to be able to benefit from associations of groups or institutions. In the sense of a financial institution, the National Democratic Congress has now amended its constitution to be able to have them engage in collaborative efforts to benefit our members, and also they would have some form of interaction with the leadership of the party. This is not to say that they can unilaterally influence what is taken, because they do not or would not have voting rights as the group. We still keep the individual delegates and membership, but what we have included was to involve group membership in the party's structure and hierarchy.
You see, what I want to get from you, and do any other political parties have that?
No.
That? So, okay, given the nature, sir, of politics in Grenada, and given that most organizations that you can think of, a bank, a cricket organization, Tanti Jane Knitting Circle, or maybe not Tanti Jane Knitting Circle, she might get like-minded people to join that. Most organizations have a cross-section of Grenadians. Don't you think that you are creating a difficult situation, sir, when you tell people that they can become members, their non-partisan organization can become members of a partisan organization?
No.
What is the thinking? What is the thinking behind this, please?
So there's no thinking. I think what we need to do is to democratize the structure of society, in the sense that you have individuals, you have communities, you have groups, you have institutions. It is to say that those institutions who otherwise may not want to join on an individual basis can join so on a group level and engage in strong collaboration. Take, for example, when we had COVID-19, the issue of the vaccine was a major contention. And in fact, it was one of the sticking points where the political parties had to be rallied to get their membership to start taking vaccine, etc., etc. We know the story with that. But the point is, I'm saying that if you have the avenue where groups can join your organization at that level, and I'm saying at that level because there will be other levels. In other words, Kalshra, this is to open the organization, not just to the question of individuals making decisions, but in what we believe in principle, democracy. Yes, we expect to be the first in the OECS to pilot such a thing, but for a slave, freedom was but a dream at one point.
it seems instead of opening up, you're seeking to close ranks around the National Democratic Congress with that initiative.
No, I differ because it's up to the organizations or institutions to
join, of course, but it just seems like a sort of a strange road to go down. On Carriacou, I've been to Carriacou a number of times since last year. I was there a few hours after I saw the devastation. I almost cried for you and your people. I've been there this year, and I find that one of the things I found out when I was there, I noticed that a lot of people were still living under tarpaulins. I saw one man living under his house. His roof became a tarpaulin because his house was on pillars, so he made the downstairs a little thing. And somebody gave him electricity, which is a dangerous thing as well. But I felt like the progress was really slow. And one of the reasons I was given for the slow progress of recovery, where you have people living in such conditions with another hurricane season starting a few days ago, is that there's a problem with contractors. Can you tell me what steps you have taken to try to get contractors if we do not have the capacity in Grenada, in the state of Grenada, to provide the contractors that are needed? What steps have been taken to get contractors within the OECS and within CARICOM to come in Carriacou to speed up the process? Or is there another reason why the recovery is so slow, sir?
Well, thank you very much for your question. And I thought you would have cried. And you say you almost.
Almost. I cried at Ivan, so I didn't have much to say.
I understand. Well, first of all, I mean, it's your perspective that the recovery is going slow. It's important to understand that, one, it's 11 months, and two, the critical infrastructures, that was the focus at the time, to ensure that we get the critical infrastructure up and going. So our hospital, our school, our clinics, our police station, etc. And now the focus has been shifted to getting the building and supporting homeowners as much as we can. But I also want you to understand that this process of reconstruction is not an easy thing where you get up one morning and you can just build a house and it finishes in a matter of days. It can't happen. The rebuilding process, we have to ensure that we rebuild stronger and more resilient. The other thing that we also have to think about, that there's a construction boom within the Caribbean. So yes, it's one thing to get the laborers or get skilled people within the OECS, and mind you, that's difficult because we've tried it. But let's say we have done so. The other thing is that we have to ensure that there is sufficient building materials, that we don't waste the contractor's time. So part of the challenge for us has been the inconsistent flow of building materials, and that has nothing to do with the contractors, and really and truly has not much to do with the government per se. Because this is not just a Grenada issue or not just a Carriacou issue. Even here in Grenada, you have issue of material, not having. So today you have sand, tomorrow you don't have, etc. You have those situations. So I do accept the fact that there are people that are living in inhumane conditions on the island. And as I've mentioned to you before, in Dominica, just use Dominica as an example, 8 years going, and you have people that are living in conditions that were affected by the hurricane. Even here in Grenada with that. No, I'm not making any excuses. I'm just making the point that you may think that recovery efforts is slow, but I think with the number of homes that we have either delivered and constructed, close to 150 plus homes, and of course more homes are being constructed as we speak. And we are trying all this. Mind you, this is homes that the government has done. We're not talking about the support that government has given to individuals to reconstruct their homes, and those homes have either been covered or completed. So significant progress has been made. There are still lots of work to be done, don't get me wrong. And this, we can't do it all on our own. It has to be a combined effort. And I want to use the opportunity to commend our churches who have joined forces with the government to assist in the reconstruction and rebuilding effort on the island, and a number of organizations like Hands That Serve, Windward Aid, and a number of organizations who have partnered with us to try to assist us in the recovery effort. But I don't want us to lose focus and lose sight. The rebuilding process of any recovery is the most difficult, and it will take time. We cannot just build back a house or building back a house sake. We have to ensure that it's done in a way that it is resilient, it is stronger, it is better, and taking consideration that it is 11 months. So the first thing that we did was to ensure that we clean up the island. Well, no, actually, the first thing that we do is to ensure that there was enough aid, so no one went hungry. Second thing we did was to ensure that we clean up the island. So there's a massive effort in cleaning up the island. You just imagine the millions of cubic yards of debris spread
I saw
all over the
debris
island.
in March.
Right? And then the focus was then on getting critical infrastructure back up and going. You, as well as most people, know that our hospital was compromised, and we had Samaritan Pus that was here assisting with medical efforts here. Finally, we managed to get our hospital up and going with all the other critical infrastructure, and now the focus is on assisting our residents as much as we can with the rebuilding efforts in 11 months.
So-
Please indulge me a little bit. I have one more question, sir. I took this
I just want to just
photograph.
touch on something on the same point that you asked Tevin about. And let me just explain something. The last unemployment figures that we had in Grenada was taken up until December 2024, and it was approximately 12%. Unemployment is defined in that case as people looking for work that cannot find work, basically, layman terms. I've had to go physically to places like in the lines, Gannans Valley, and pull guys off the block to give them employment, to paint, etc. Now, so getting people is one, but I'm saying that, we are even going out of our way to find people to get them, because you find that the mindset of our people, which have been developed for the past few years, and governments, I'll talk blunt, have contributed to the various handles where people find that, it's better to stay back and receive an handout than to go out and get employment. So we are not trying to reverse that, number one. Now, this is a challenge, but in itself, I believe that before we even go outside, we have to exhaust all possibilities of getting our people to work to really take advantage of the employment opportunities that we have outside. Our unemployment rate should be under 10%. If you ask me, under 5%, right? And we have to push for that. Another thing again that in Grenada, I could tell you that hampers the rate of building back. Sometimes you have people living on lands, and when Beryl passed, the house got destroyed, but the land title, the land is not on their name. Some of them are squatting. Sometimes they have dispute with the lands. So whereas you may want to build back the houses quickly, and so you have to resolve these land issues even before you can go forward. So it's not just the building back process, but there are also things that adds up to and challenges that you may face in the building back. But you may not hear about it. We are dealing with it in the background as best as we can to try and see how we can rectify these issues, because we know housing is a big issue for people. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so Minister, I don't know if you can see, but I took this photograph in Carriacou.
Yes.
Yes, you can see two homes.
Yes.
When I asked for the reason for the difference in the construction of these homes, I was told that it was because the people who were going to live there supported two different political parties on Carriacou. As you can see, you're seeing the difference. Let's spot the difference in the photo, right?
So I think it's got up.
Oh,
But I see it.
So let's spot the difference, right? So
So this
and there have been claims of favorites and people not getting. People have come to me and said, I'm not getting the support because I don't support the ruling party and this. I have received information of discrimination. This was given to me as a story of discrimination. And
So
the
which is the difference?
The difference, apparently this one is your supporter and this one is the other people.
Lord God.
Could you respond to the charges that, you're not fairly distributing supporting candidates?
Well, first of all, I am accused by my supporters that the other side is getting all of the support. And I'm also being accused, left, right, and center. But genuinely, if you go on the ground in Carriacou and you look at what is happening across the board, and I want you to speak to the church leaders, speak to the community organizers, etc., and they will tell you that it's a level playing field. The people that are in need are the ones that are receiving the support. And those homes that you've shown, those are temporary, those are emergency homes that had to be built because some of these people were living in not too well conditions. So, which is the Division of Social Development and some of our church organizations and so on has built. But in addition to that particular photo, this particular gentleman had an existing bathroom and toilet. The other gentleman didn't, and one is being constructed. If you look in the back, if you take your time and look properly, you would realize that there's some work. It appears that there's some work that is taking place in the back.
Yeah, I saw that, but it didn't look as if that is.
I understand, but I want. I'm clearing the air, and I challenge anybody, any day, anytime, to say to my face or to say at all that there is some sort of political, there is some sort of political game being played by my supporters or other supporters are being treated fairly or unfairly. That is simply not the case.
Well, I'll be going up next week, so I will visit the site. And I don't want to hog the news conference,
Right.
but my final question to Mr. Williams, bus tours, will those bus tours take place before or after the roads are fixed across the country, sir?
Right. So the bus tour, we'll be starting the bus tour on Monday, which is the 9th of June. So that's when it will start, as early as next week. But let me just answer the second part of your question in terms of the roads. Yeah. In my constituency, we will be repaving the roads from the Moy Bishop International Airport all the way to Sandal Tunnel. And that is part of the UK SIF project that was supposed to be implemented years ago and was not implemented. The reason why is when we dig the road up to lay the pipes, we are going to use that opportunity to pave the road at the same time. So we also will be repaving the roads from the Lansepine area up to the Springs area where the Cliff project is actually going on now. And the reason why we want to, well, in doing so, we want to widen the roads because, that's really important on the agenda. You hear people return and come back to Grenada and say the roads are so narrow. We're actually doing the Granatang Road now where we are widening the Granatang Road. Even on the Cliff Road, we could have gone ahead and we repaved the road as it was. But at the end of the day, I don't think we would have been doing a benefit or a service to the Grenadian people, giving them back the same narrow roads that we had. So that road that we will be doing from the Lansepine to the Springs, we are going to include some sidewalks on the roads in the Granans Valley area. Because if you drive through Granans Valley, in places like, well, who knows Granans Valley, like by Ira Shop, going down to Lala, there's no sidewalks. And you have people walking in the road, and it's easy for an accident to happen and someone to get damaged or killed. So, so we are going to start the bus tour as early as next week, Monday. We're going to move it to different constituencies, but we will be fixing the roads at the same time. Yeah.
So I can't complain about the Bolio Road. The representative and I, we got that.
Yeah. So thank you. So I recognize just one question. You're here with MTV or Informer? All right. So I recognize Sister Jenny Simon. I don't know what media house Simon says. Or you're just acting general. All right, sure. Go ahead.
I'm representing the citizen that's following.
All right. Go right ahead.
So I'll start with you. MP Ron, how's the studies going?
So this is going well. Master's degree plus politics is not an easy thing, and you work as hard as you can to achieve it.
Wonderful, wonderful. You spoke of the press conference is party, is about party?
Yeah.
Okay, so then the achievements that especially MP Tevin Andrews spoke of in Carriacou, are they achievements of the NDC party or the government of Grenada?
There are achievements of the government of Grenada, the National Democratic Congress administration.
Okay, so then we open up now. It's of the government of Grenada. So we can move there, right?
No.
Well,
No. To be quite fair, it was about. I was basically talking about the promise that we made, or the campaign promises that we
And who fulfilled the promise?
No,
The government of Grenada, right?
Just give me 1 minute. I'm just simply saying that we have a manifesto, local manifesto and an overall manifesto. And we spoke about the things that we hope to achieve. So in celebration of the 3 years in office, we're basically saying that we have said that we are going to accomplish X if you, the people, give us an opportunity. And here we are, reporting to you 3 years later that we have delivered.
Let's not waste time on this.
Yeah.
My
So,
question
go ahead and ask
is,
the question.
gentlemen,
Let me give
the
you answer.
achievements you spoke of, are the achievements of the NDC party or achievements of the government of Grenada?
Right. So, Sister Jenny, let me just say this. You can proceed to ask your question, and we would respond accordingly.
Right. Thank you kindly, because I need to find out from Minister Tevin. You said 150 Build Back
There
Better
about-
houses?
Build Back Better, social development, and prefabricated homes.
Also, I want to know about the Build Back Better houses. How many Build Back Better houses in Carriacou?
Both-
And Pitimatnik, separately.
Both Carriacou and Pitimatnik, we are looking at approximately 70 Build Back Better homes.
17?
70,
70.
yeah,
Total?
total.
No, can you just tell me how much in Pitimatnik, for instance?
In Pitimatnik, there is, I believe there is 6 or 7 Build Back Better homes.
Build Back Better.
Yeah,
Delivered.
under construction.
So none delivered in Pitimatnik.
No, they are about 90% completed.
It's not delivered. It's being completed.
It's being completed, yes.
Right. And in
11 months
Carriacou, how many delivered? Because
I-
I've been following you when you hand out your keys.
Yeah, we actually handed over one on Saturday. I can't recall the exact amount that was delivered so far, but I know for a fact it's over 10.
Okay. Now we're talking. All right. I just wanted to know because it's being jumbled, and I'm not sure. It has so many different housing projects. Project 500, Project Build Back, Project.
No, well, Sister
Yeah.
Jenny, you could proceed with the
So-
question.
No, let me take my time. Let me take my time. If you need to stop me, then stop me for good.
I wouldn't stop
I
you.
get cut
I wouldn't
off the other
stop you.
night
No, I wouldn't stop you.
on
So
the
you could
headline.
proceed
So
with the questions.
I all right with that, right?
Yeah.
So that with my brother here, Tevin, you spoke about roads, and roads you don't count roads as an achievement really. It's just something that the government's supposed to do.
I never said that.
What you said?
I said
Well,
this-
I'm paraphrasing here. I'm not quoting.
Well, please paraphrase properly.
I can't.
I'm
It means the same thing. Go ahead.
No.
Go ahead.
I basically said that that's government responsibility, and we're just
Right.
fulfilling our mandate.
Right, government responsibility. I have on record you being asked about roads, about the achievements of the former MP at Carriacou when you were in opposition, and you saying that all they did was roads,
Okay.
basically, and you're saying here this morning that the roads they were neglected for years. Which is it? They were building roads or they were not building roads?
I'm not here to discuss the former administration. I'm here.
But you keep talking about the former administration.
No, well,
You see, that's the point I'm making.
That's okay.
Sister Jenny,
That's okay.
Sister
That's okay.
Jenny,
That's okay.
you can proceed with the other question.
No,
we want to get as
I'm
much
in a
as we
conversation
Yeah,
with
let's hear
Minister
what-
here. You see, that's my point. So you keep speaking about referring to the previous administration. So is either you referring to them totally or not?
Well, I don't know if I spoke about the former administration. What I said is that the roads were being neglected.
Okay, I neglected
And-
the roads.
Well, roads were being neglected, and and we are fixing it.
Okay, I'll leave that with you because I'll be in Carriacou next week, as I told you
Sure,
earlier.
no problem.
So
Look forward to
I'll
you.
leave you. To the MP for the Great South.
The Great South, correct.
Right.
Lovely.
When you at the beginning of your presentation, you spoke of integrity, NDC and integrity and so on. And I know
Correct.
from being in NDC for, it would have been 28 years this year.
Really?
Come back home.
It's not too
A
late.
card-bearing member, somebody who pays subs and things, because a lot of people are NDC people on Facebook and so on. They don't pay no subs. They don't contribute to the NDC. This year would have made me 28 years. So I know of the core values of the NDC, and integrity is one of the core values.
Correct.
It is rumored, and you got the question the other night, you didn't answer it really, that you're involved in a bribery case with the contractor of the Cliff Road project. Switch for the contract, 100,000. I'm going to get it right. The lady did not get it right the other night. She said 150. It's 115. 100,000 in your hand and 15,000 to fix your pickup truck. Are you, sir, denying that?
Now, first of all, let me just see this, Miss Simon or Mrs. Simon.
No, it's Miss.
Well, Miss Simon, and I want to watch you in your eyes, right? Because I've heard you made these accusations on your show a number of times. And frankly, I'm not one who will run about and wasting my time to deal with these petty issues that have been rumored.
Are you calling bribery petty? Because bribery is a
Give
crime.
me a chance to answer the question, please.
And no, because
I gave you
said
a
that.
chance to speak.
Okay.
Give me my chance
All
to
right.
speak. Thank you, right?
I hope I'll get the time to come back.
No problem, ma'am.
Okay.
No, anything I do it with full transparency. And exactly what you're saying there, it is completely false. Okay? And I've heard you made mention that a minister signing a contract. I want to educate you. In 1997, I started working by teaching. And I want to teach you something here today. A minister doesn't sign a contract. It's a permanent secretary that will sign a contract. Now, frankly, the Cliff Road was done under the Ministry of Infrastructure. My ministry is the Ministry of Mobilization, Implementation, and Transformation. So let me just go further, right? And I'm speaking to you, and I want to watch you in your eyes to speak to
And
you.
I'm watching you in yours too.
Good. Because, when we enter politics, we understand that, and I've had it, people will say all sorts of things about you. And as a politician, you have to broaden your back. But Ms. Simon, when you do things like that, you know what you do to our young people? You discourage them from even wanting to get involved in politics. Because, someone who wants to give back to their country meaningfully, when they hear your tone and the way how you get on with these things, they may just be discouraged. And, and you're not doing a good for the country. No, the reason why I don't respond to these things is because my constituents did not elect me to take on these foolish rumors that you're making. They elected me to take care of them. And I tell you, if you look in a dictionary and you look for the word focus, you will see A-N-D-Y, Williams. I'm not distracted by these things, never distracted. And I say, do no evil, fear no evil. That's my motto. So, I'm just saying that you can go ahead and make all these allegations and so I will not respond because that is not why I was elected into office. I was elected to serve the people of Grenada, Carriacou, and Peter Matlick, and to serve my constituents, not to respond to these foolish rumors that you are making. And I'm saying it in the most respectful manner.
Yeah.
All right? Thank you.
So we had two questions. Carriacou also had two questions. Now tell me, you have a
Felicia
final
had
question?
about 4 questions.
All right,
And
so you have a
then-
final
and-
question?
No, I need to come back.
All right,
I
come
need
back.
to come back.
Come
Because
back
you tell
over.
me, leave him to speak, and then I'll come back. I'm back. Because, Minister,
Oh, you gotta call the
you are
security.
misleading the country, and you're lying. You see, when you talk about young people and deterring young people from joining politics, are we supposed to allow you, and when I say you, I'm not meaning directly you know, allow politicians to do the wrong, turn a blind eye.
Let me just stop.
Turn
So
a blind
hold
eye.
on.
Hold on,
No,
Minister.
What's the
hold on.
question?
If
No,
there
because
is,
he said-
you have to ask a question. Hold on. If there is anything that you believe that is unscrupulous, you have the ombudsman, you have the Integrity Commission,
Oh, yes,
and you
and
have
I've
the
been-
media
I'm
itself
right
to
now,
go
I have a
and
case with
bring the
Integrity.
information.
I do.
So you can proceed to
do.
doing that. I want to ask you specifically to provide your question so that we can get on with the press
Provided a
conference.
question, and the minister
Right.
lied.
So,
because
no.
I have evidence
Right.
to show that he's lying.
Sister Jenny, you can produce the evidence to Interpol, FBI, Grenada Police, whoever
Right. I
you
have
need
the
to
evidence.
go ahead and do
And I
that.
know he's lying.
We are in a press conference. You are
And you
going to
speak of
be.
integrity.
No. Hold on.
And that is unethical.
So, Sister Jenny, are you finished with your question? You have
No,
another
no,
question?
no,
So you can
no.
proceed with your next
No,
question.
I have more questions
Right.
for.
So you can proceed. You have one more question, and then we'll pass to someone else, and then
for
we will
the
join
sitting,
in on the others.
minister. You speak often of the UK SIF and the GRIP, the UK SIF, the World Bank one, the Caribbean Development Bank one, and that the former administration did nothing for 6 years. And you also know that that is misleading the nation. The GRIP program, for instance, the approval came on the 17th of June 2022. That's a few days before the elections, right? The UK SIF program, it started in 2016, where the government of Grenada was already engaged in the CDP, and that is on their website right up to 2019. Right up to 2019, and then there was the COVID, and then the elections. So when you do these things and say these things, I have documents here to show.
Can I respond?
Of the website. So that is misleading.
Can I respond?
Please do.
Let's go. The UK SIF project, in 2015, the Prime Minister of England, Dave Cameron, UK, he visited Grenada. In 2016, he provided a grant for Grenada, $80 million. $10 million was to construct the Western Main Road, and $70 million was to do the UK SIF, which is the Southern Water Expansion Project. Now, the Western Main Road had problems because of the Modena landslip, so that was delayed. The UK SIF project, nothing was done. As a matter of fact, we had a meeting, myself and the Minister of Finance, with representatives from the UK in October of 2022. And it was said that because the UK were going through they were uncertain about the economic situation, they were going to pull back the grant of $80 million from us. They went ahead and took it back. Okay. 2023, we fought and we got it back. We announced when we got it back. But let's look at the timeline, because, I want to really spend some time, spend some time this morning, because I want to educate. I don't get a chance to educate much, and I want to educate now. So when we got back the grant in 2023, it took us 2 years, 23, 24, 25, 2 years. And now we are talking about implementing that same UK SIF Southern Water Expansion Project, right? Now, if you say, let's count again, if you say that 2016, you agree that we got a grant in 2016 from the UK. Now, 2022, nothing was implemented. Let's go. Now let's watch rate of implementation. We got back in 2023. And 2025, we are not looking to start until lay pipes. 2016, add 2 years to that, 2018, COVID was 2020. So I'm saying to you, Miss Jenny Simon, respectfully, that the previous administration had all the chance to implement the project. COVID was 2020, and look at it, 2016 to 2020 is 4 years.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'll listen to you speak, I'll ask you if I can speak. So listen to me speak now. 2016 to 2020 is 4 years. 2023 to 2025 is 2 years. So we are implementing in 2 years what the previous administration could not implement in 4 years, even before COVID. I'm not counting even after COVID. Let's go again. We are speaking about the GRIP project now. Well, you asked some questions, and I want to answer your questions. I don't want to skip because you said on GBN, you said that you was caught up on GBN, and I did not answer the question on GBN. So I want to make sure that I answer your question in full.
Can I deal with
GRIP? No. You spoke about GRIP. Let's talk about GRIP. I want to answer your question. Permit me to answer your question. I don't want you to leave from me and say that Andy did not answer your question. So let's go to the GRIP project now, right? The GRIP project, yes, you had the date correct. Now, I never said that the GRIP project was under the previous administration. I said that my ministry was able to move the project. It was under the Ministry of Infrastructure. And it was moved to the Ministry of MIT. Now we are talking about implementation. Right? In October, we will be doing over the Baltazar Bridge, and also we will be tackling the coastal areas of Soubise and Marquis under the GRIP project. So to say that, it's on the, don't mislead.
So, Jenny,
I'm just speaking the fact.
Yeah, but hold on.
Yeah,
but Sister Jenny, hold on.
Run,
Wait, no, but you have to wait. This is not a political debate. I'm saying to you, this is the National Democratic Congress press conference.
Before implementation, there are processes.
Sister Jenny, hold on.
And that is what happened.
Hold on kindly, please.
In 16,
Sister Jenny, you have your platform. You can go and talk
You
there.
can just implement.
Sister Jenny, you have your platform. You can go and speak there.
Before the pipes are laid,
Listen, could
there
we
are
cut this mic,
processes.
please? Could we cut this mic, please? Sister Jenny, is either a stop or just calm yourself. You'll get an opportunity to ask another question. Take it easy. Right. So we have other media houses in studio. Would you have any questions that you would like to ask the party? Right. I know Linda Straker is online. Could we patch her through to allow her to ask her questions, and then we can always come back if needs be? Right. Yeah. Ms. Straker, you on? Right.
Fair has had her hands up for the longest while.
Right.
And
yeah. Sorry about that.
following order, let Louina ask a question. I'll come after her.
All right. Yeah. Well, she's passed for now, so you can go ahead. You can ask your question. We can hear you. Yes. Yes, Rena. We can. You can proceed.
I have two questions. June marks 3 years since the NDC won the general election, but now you guys are one-man shot. Caretaker, Mr. Jonathan Lackett, have the executive from the replacement or is eyeing somebody, and he recently launched his party. Any comments on that?
Right. Well, we are not one-man shot. We see it as they're about same. We have the Honorable Delma Thomas, who was able to cross flow as a result of seeing the tremendous progress that is being made and is on the horizon. She hails from the constituency of St. Andrew Northwest, and she ran as a new National Party candidate last general election and is now an NDC Minister of Government and an NDC Member of Parliament. As it relates to Mr. Lackett, I wish him all the best.
When I speak about one-man shot, I'm talking about any replacement for his constituency as a caretaker.
Right. Replacement is a normal part of the process with picking candidates, and people who've been around know sometimes how that can go. So it's a process. You have to look at people, you have to engage different individuals, and you have to speak to the branch and have them participate in voting who they would like to see represent them.
Is there anyone that you're eyeing? Anyone at all?
Unfortunately, we're not able to make that pronouncement right now.
Okay, final question. Carriacou and Peter Matnick, Minister Andrew, have the 27 houses from Hand That Serves, were all of them delivered? I've seen posting from Mr. Cox that these houses were not these houses was not handed over and are incomplete. Can you clarify these accusations?
So I'm not too sure of the post that you're referring to, but what I can confirm is that all the homes have been delivered and are being occupied.
Okay. I'm referring to the kind of 27 houses, I think 27 prefab houses.
That's correct. I'm saying to you that the 27 prefab homes have been delivered and are currently being occupied.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Rena, if that ends your series of questions, I think Ms. Stricker is online. We'll provide you the opportunity to go next, Ms. Stricker.
Good morning and thank you.
Morning.
I'm quite very disappointed that you would mistake cholesterol for and I had to share my disappointing feelings.
Me too.
This morning, a lot of the subject is on the aftermath of what happened, the burial and things that has been happening. My first question is to, well, any one of y'all can actually take it. No, actually, I'm going to ask Minister Williams. With all the houses that have been built, the Physical Planning Authority, yes, I think that is the correct name, that law recommends, a mandate, whichever word we want to use, that every structure that is to be built or erected in Grenada be approved by the Physical Planning Authority. Can you confirm this morning that houses under the Build Back Better as well as Project 500 has been approved? Each one that has been done so far has been approved by the Physical Planning Authority.
Right. So Project 500, yes, we got the approval from planning. As a matter of fact, the person that is leading that project is a gentleman by the name of Randy Dolan, and all due care and so was taken into consideration. When we are doing the Build Back Better project, we brought planning on site because we knew that we would have needed a quick approval from them to move forward. So we brought them on site. As a matter of fact, these two gentlemen here was with me when we went on site, when we did the pilot one that's in Grand Anse. And the reason why it was done in Grand Anse is because, the materials and everything would have been closer, and we wanted to do it in the quickest possible manner. So yes, planning has been involved. And let me just add to this also. You didn't ask the question, but I want to add this to it. Even we have a special housing project that we also do. So not only the Build Back or the Project 500, but the normal housing project. And those have automatic approval from planning. And in those, in the reconstruction, we have put things like hurricane straps, and so that will minimize the effects of hurricane in time to come. So planning, yes, is involved, and we are doing our best to ensure that we build back with a difference and we build back stronger, so that and more resilient, so that in the effect of another hurricane, if another hurricane were to pass, we will be more prepared than before.
All right, Ms. Stricker, you may proceed.
Office.
Yeah.
When I go down to the Physical Planning Office and look to the registry, which is public information, I am going to see the number and all the other information for each and every one of these Build Back Better homes that has been erected, both in Carriacou and Grenada.
Oh, I'm not sure. I'm not sure to the exact operation of the physical planning, but I can tell you what we did with physical planning when we were in the process of constructing these houses. They were on site. We had the plan. We showed them exactly what we were doing. Because let me explain something to you, right, Linda? Normally, the houses that got damaged during burial were actually boat houses. Now you're having a house with a concrete frame and a parapet roof that will minimize the effects of the hurricane. The parapet roof, it means that 75% of the roof will be built in a way that it will be resistant from the hurricane. Before, you had just purely board in those houses. Now you have wall frame and you have beams connected and so. So you're talking about a much stronger structure than what was built before. And the fact that we are doing this is because we want to build back in a way that is more resilient for the people. But let me just use this opportunity to talk about this, because building back is not just a structure. Right? In building back, we are helping our people, number one, to gain employment. We are helping our contractors to be meaningfully employed and employ other people also. We are also, in Grenada, we break up the processes. So like the person who is painting, the person who is building is not the person who is painting and is doing the electrical and the plumbing. And in doing so, we are providing employment for 4 different contractors on one house. In addition to that, we are helping our people to open accounts in financial institutions so that they can pass their contract through. When we do this, we are also helping them to build their business and not see it as just another pankway or another work, but to see it as something bigger. That is what men like Latouche and so in creative design started, and now they have a big company where they can build for international bodies like the SGU and so. So Build Back is not just about building the building, but it's about building our people in this aftermath of Beryl. Thank you.
Sister Shrika, I just want to add as well. Now, this issue have come up time and again. The issue of recovery is not the same as if somebody needs the permission to construct a dwelling home. So I just want to make this point. And so you can't say that the government is not building houses fast on one end, and then on the other end, you're trying to say, well, we must go through this, and we have to go through that, and so on. The point is recovery calls for expediting the process, and that is what we have done. In particular, when planning was involved with the pilot project, they gave their comments, because essentially it's the basic method that was used to be able to have the approval, right? And so they have to come on site, do the visit, look at deficiencies, make recommendations, which they did. So it is not a case where the government is separate from planning. It's one government. The planning authority will have its stipulations as in ordinary circumstances, but in the case of rebuilding or recovery post Hurricane Beryl, this has to be expedited, and so the homes have to be built as fast as possible. And what we did was to get the approval in sense from the pilot and then proceeded. But that's more for government to deal with. We are here discussing party as well, and some of the campaign promises and achievements.
But
so you can proceed. Oh, sorry.
If I can just add, specifically to Carriacou and PT Matnik, this government and the government ensured that a planning authority unit was established in Carriacou. So we have a local individual, a local specialized individual, and we also have a number of planning members of the planning team that comes up regularly to check up on the Build Back Better projects and all construction projects that are taking place on the Sister Isles of Carriacou and PT Matnik. We are committed in ensuring that we build back better, stronger, and more resilient. It's not just by saying it, but we are literally practicing it by ensuring that planning authorities supervise the entire rebuilding process.
Yeah. You can proceed.
Can I proceed?
Yeah. Yes, you can.
Yeah. You see, I'm asking that the law is the law. In certain laws, there is room for exemption. I went and reread the law because I have been researching that. I can't recall seeing any exemption during the recovery of any natural disaster. So was that recovery decision and speed and truly progressing into doing construction, was it a decision made in policy in the cabinet, Mr. Redden?
Right. So I can't speak to cabinet, but what I would say to you is simply this. Sister Shrika, the planning authority has only just become a statutory body. That's one. Two.
No, from 2016 it was. I did the story way back then.
Right. But in terms of it functioning, understood. But in terms of it functioning as a statutory body, there was only recently a presentation, certainly was made until the time I was a sitting cabinet member, for its implementation. So in principle, it may have been announced, but largely it was just a department in the Ministry of Infrastructure. So I'm saying to you, when you look at Carriacou's situation, for example, concrete homes toppled over and some wooden structures stood up. There was a total absence of planning authority in Carriacou and PT Matnik, but homes were going up, people were living. So to make it now that we are recovering, and there is this suspicion of some red tape to try to say, well, the government is not following the rules, etc. That is not something that we can comment on in this press conference fully. But what we are saying is, in principle, being on the ground, understanding the situation, stuff have to get done, because the same people that we are here complaining about living under inhumane conditions need roofs over their head. Or we to sit and say XYZ, but we are following the rules, and I want to make the point that the cabinet will be able to respond to you directly on that question as it relates to approval and all these other things. We are here to discuss the party, our achievements, and while we included Hurricane Beryl, we wanted to be able to give the Member of Parliament, as he was introduced, the opportunity to update the nation from a party standpoint, what we have been able to do and what he is doing as Member of Parliament. So if you have another question, you can proceed.
Yes, I do have another question.
Sure.
You are speaking, you just gave a scolding about party. But all what was spoken about this morning fell into the realm of government, the administration of the day, what it has been doing. And so that's the reason why our question is based on the government of the day, on the administration. Anyway, I will proceed with my other question.
Right.
My other question is to Minister Williams. Minister Williams, I heard you on GBN the other night, and today I'm hearing you say it again, that you went into, you went out and get people to do construction because it appeared there was a shortage of persons. Can you tell me the people that you would have picked up in the lines on the block or wherever you picked them up, were they one qualified to do construction as you pushed? Were they other than being laborers? Because there's a difference between being a laborer at a construction site as someone who is in charge of management of the project and doing the purchasing and the ordering. Were these people who you offered contracts and engaged in for the construction and erection of homes, qualified to do so? I say that against the background that on Sunday, Minister Gloria, she said on the NDC Heartbeat that yes, she admitted there was a shortage of personnel in the construction and some of the houses was built below par. Can you balance off what you're coming to, what you had to say, and what you are saying, sir? Were the people who hired qualified and capable to engage in construction, understanding from the building code to how to measure sand and cement?
So let me just, I will go into it a little bit deeper for you to really understand, right? Senator Thomas is responsible for the Ministry of Social Development, which have a housing program under it. MIT has a special housing program also where we try to assist, because when after Hurricane Beryl, we understand that the Ministry of Social Development alone could not build back fast enough for our people. So what we did from MIT standpoint, we assisted, and MIT took on the role to do the build back. And we also did some special projects also. Now, the gentleman that I'm speaking about from the Limes was gentleman that I got to do painting, yeah? I will not call the names, so, you know, I don't think that's fair. But I'm talking about gentlemen that did painting. You also had gentlemen from the neighborhood that's involved in plumbing also, that did not know about the government projects, and I got them involved in it. So the construction part of it, I will say no, but the painting part of it, yes. We were able to get electricians, plumbers, and painters from in the neighborhood, right? And I personally went. We had a meeting sometime back on the Limes basketball court. If you go back on my Facebook page, you will see it, where we gather all of them together, and we ask all of them to come together, tell me your skills and so. But let me just add to that, because you asked a very important question. There's a guy called John De Fletcher, and I can call his name. This gentleman started about 2 years ago, a young gentleman, and he started to do the little construction and so. And I personally assisted him in getting a ransom, getting tools, and I'm so proud to see this gentleman now, the work that he's doing. And these are young people that are in our community that we neglect. And as government, we tend not to provide opportunities for them. But here we are as an administration, finding opportunities for our young people. And this gentleman now is employing people from the Limes, especially. We have gentlemen like Troy Charles. Troy is a big, is someone who will mobilize sporting activities and so in the Limes area. And Troy Advantage is a good mobilizer. And he was able to mobilize fellas from the valley and so to do painting. If you look at the Woburn Community Center, which we just refurbished, it was gentlemen from the valley like Billy and so who played football, right? Who this nation has failed, who played football for Grenada for years. These are the guys that are actually painting these community centers. So I'm saying, you know, we are providing opportunities for our young people. And, you know, and that is what it is. Sometimes we may not believe in them, but sometimes all they need is one chance, right? So, yeah, thank you.
I do have a final question for each of the three ministers here. Can I go ahead?
Yes, certainly.
for the three ministers, I will ask you together and you can answer individually. Have each and every one of you declare your asset to the Integrity Commission for the period as requested? And each and every one of you, do you know what is the definition for corruption in Grenada's law? And the final question to Mr. Williams, you mentioned that you use, in terms of employment rate, it was about 12% last year, and you think it might be 5 or 10 when they do it again. What did you use to come to that conclusion?
Okay,
What calculation you used to come to that assumption? So you have 3 questions, Mr. Williams, and the other 2 have 2.
Yeah, so let me just start by saying this. I as an individual, I'm not qualified enough to measure unemployment in our country. Yeah? I'm telling you about the figures from the Ministry of Economic Development that was given to me by the minister. And up until Monday of this week, that was the last figures that was quoted based on the unemployment rate as of 31st of December 2024. So those figures came from the Ministry of Economic Development by Minister Lennox Andrews. So you asked a question about definition for corruption according to Grenada law. Again, let me tell you this. In Grenada, the Prevention of Corruption Act defines corruption. Just 1 minute. My computer just... I want to give you the information factual. Hold on, just 1 minute. Right. Corruption as an act by a person that is inconsistent with the lawful duties and rights of others, involving the unlawful and wrongful use of their influence, office, or character to gain some gratification for themselves or another person. That's the definition. And yes, I declare my asset with the Integrity Commission. Thank you very much.
I also declared my asset to the Integrity Commission, and I think Minister Williams answered the question corruption.
Right. Yes, I declared mine, and I have some outstanding stuff to do for them. I received the letter and will honor that within the time frame that they had asked for it. I also stand by Minister Williams with his definition of corruption.
This is not his definition. This is the law definition of corruption, for your clarity. The 3 of you, have you done or said anything you think violated the definition of corruption in Grenada since you became part of the Member of Parliament and served time as a minister?
As an investigative journalist, do you think that we have done anything or said anything that may cause that?
I am not questioning. You're not questioning me. You're the one who had an respondents. I am questioning you. I asked the question.
I stand by the comment I made earlier.
But in addition to that, Sister Shrika, just to end, we have another question? Oh, right. Yeah, just to end your round of questions. Look, politics in Grenada has been the same since the days of Uncle Gary, Comrade Morris Bishop. The only thing that has changed is the time and people's values in terms of what we pursue from a political standpoint now, the traditions, the standards. We are attempting as the National Democratic Congress to lift this. If you or any journalists have any evidence of corruption, I am not talking about rumors and hearsay. Any evidence of corruption, you can file those evidence to the relevant bodies because you know the definition of corruption. You know the bodies. You know the law. You know the law. So you don't need to ask us the question. I am saying that you, as the Fourth Estate, if you represent the Fourth Estate, you need to fulfill your duty, not by printing and publishing rumors and, leading on the hearsays, but taking whatever information you have. If you say you have evidence, information, and I'm saying you, not specific to you, but those who may, bring it to the relevant bodies and file the request. I think we have a final question.
Let me answer. Now, something that...
Mr. Redhead,
hold on, Linda. You asked a question for 3 of us. I did not answer. Just please give me a chance to answer. Thank you. Now, but let me just tell you what's interesting here, though, and I want to make this point here before we go along to any other point. It's because I realize that when it comes to the National Democratic Congress, and maybe because the country holds us to a higher standard than any other party, right? I realize that when it comes to journalists like yourself and maybe even same Jenny, you try to drill us down to the last little rumor that you would hear, and you want an answer for it. But when it comes to the other party, you all just glance over it, and I'm saying, listen, as journalists, you all have to do better than that. You all have to hold everyone accountable, not just the NDC accountable, and all the others get a pass. So I want to make that point to you. Secondly, the second point I want to make is that the reason why sometimes I do not engage in all these little pettiness and all these back and forth and so is because we have to remember that that politics, and as a party, our motto is putting people first. Politics is about people. And that is why we are focused on helping people. I can tell you, when you look at the last 3 years of this organization and the steps we have made, this is the most amount of housing that you will ever that you ever saw any other administration completed. Be it build back, prefab, the project from MIT and social development, doesn't matter. This is the most. When you look at the people's lives that we have touched, that we have touched over the past few years, pension, minimum wage. You know, I never heard you, Linda, talk to the opposition party about discouraging people from accepting minimum wage. Yeah? Some of the argument that was made was that if you accept the minimum wage, you will be unemployed. But guess what? Unemployment rate is dropping, and we are looking for people, and we cannot get people to work. Yeah? The same previous administration who voted against the gun laws in Parliament, I haven't heard you even drill them or question them on it. But when it comes to the National Democratic Congress, the idea is to drill us with a T to ensure that we are more Catholic than the Pope. And we are not. Listen, and we don't mind. But all we say is that please, just make it even across the board. We would like to see you. And I will wait for the next press conference of the NNP to see, Linda, if you will drill the opposition on the level of corruption that they were accused of while he was in office. I'm waiting to see. And I'm saying, if you did not do it, you are failing at your job and you need to do better than that. Thank you very much.
Can I ask my last question? Mr. Redhead, you mentioned that journalists should file your question. Are you aware that Grenada do not have a Freedom of Information Act? And even those that are filed under the Esousa Agreement, we do not get a response?
Right. I am aware, but I'm saying as a journalist, you do have platforms. If you have evidence, you need to raise it through legitimate means and not pilot rumors. What I am saying is, Sister Stricker, is that when it comes to the rumors, to publish that on an official platform, to say that it is rumored or accusations are being made is insufficient. I am saying to you that to come to a party's press conference and literally rumor or repeat rather a rumor and ask someone to respond to it does not make any journalistic sense. And I'm saying that what should happen if there is any evidence of any wrongdoing, you as a responsible journalist should go out and file this not just to the relevant bodies that you've just announced there, but make it public, the evidence, the information, not rumors or hearsay. So that's the point I think I want to lament. So thank you very much. And if you do not have another question, we will take the last one in-house, and then we'll close the press conference. Mm-hmm. Of course, of course. And not just other ministers. Certainly. Right? So, again, we want to be able to update the nation as it relates to our manifesto achievements. This is 3 years since the NDC administration was victorious in the general election, and we would like to update each and every one of you, citizens, both at home and in the diaspora, the world over, as to the progress that we've made from a manifesto standpoint, what we campaigned on, what we said we were going to do, and what have we achieved. And so we have begun this process to do just that. We are doing it at the time when we are celebrating the achievement of being victorious. But as the Honorable Prime Minister said, and I would like to end on this note, this is not a victory for the National Democratic Congress. It is a victory for the people of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. And you, the people, are the ones who should hold us accountable, and not by the standards of what some people try to paint with the gutter and rumor, but to the standards of delivering the promises that were made to the people from the last general election to now, and where we intend to take them. So on this note, I would like to end the press conference. We have a final question. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Kingsley. State your name and you're representing which entity?
I'm representing King James Media, just
All right.
wetting my feet.
No problem.
Some citizens have remained concerned about crime, right?
Oh, yes.
So I would like to know what strategies has the administration implemented to improve public safety? And also, are there any moves to reform or better equip law enforcement? And last question for Minister Williams. I'd like an update on the derelict removal project because I realize a lot less old vehicles have been seen on the side of the road.
Sure. So let me just go first. Thanks very much for the questions, and they are more sensible. You say you're wetting your feet, but you almost sound like a stalwart man. That's good. So as it relates to the question of crime, we can successfully announce that we have promised that we were going to reconstruct or build a new headquarters for the police, and we have achieved just that. Again, while this is a manifesto achievement, this is something that is going to benefit Grenada. I am certain, notwithstanding you see bits and pieces here and there, but there's a general improvement in the delivery of service and not so much force of the Royal Grenada Police Force. And it's part in the conversation that we need to make. Now, on the issue of crime, I think I would like to leave that to government. To be able to specifically respond, and the Ministry of National Security, when their time comes, I am confident that government will also be giving press conferences in and out as we give party press conferences, so that could be answered there. But as it relates to the RGPF, generally we have been able to complete the renovation of the St. Paul's police station. Police officers now have an increase in their pay and minimum and wage. We are satisfied that we are doing everything in our power to be able to improve the quality of delivery. But, you know, as the old saying goes, you can bring a horse to the well, but you can't force it to drink. So what we will continue to do as party, which we have campaigned on, is to say to the officers of the Royal Grenada Police Force, continue to maintain your high standards. It is going to be effective in fighting crime, and we support every positive initiative that the government of Grenada will do to help benefit our law enforcers and in general to reduce the crime in Grenada. So I'll pass on to General Secretary.
Right. Let me just start by saying, Kingsley, I want to really put on record my appreciation to the RGPF for the increased efforts in fighting crime and also in responding in a timely manner. And from a constituency level, I've tried to work with them as best as possible. Yeah, I can remember sometime last year we had a walkthrough on Granans Beach because there were reports of a lot of petty crimes, the increase in petty crimes on the beach. And what we did, we were able to install some solar lights on that beach, even on the jetties. And what we are seeing people walking more freely on the beach. And when you look at the record, the actual amount of petty crimes has decreased drastically. As a matter of fact, if you were to go tonight down by the Coconut Beach area, you would see people with a light put on a jetty, bathing all after 9, 10 in the night, right? I see you smiling because maybe, I don't know if you've been there, right? Yeah, but that shows us transforming the area from, the increase in petty crime, so people being safe now, and feeling safe to go there, and it shows that we are building confidence in the people. With the derelict vehicles, our team continue to go out. We do it parish by parish, and we continue to go out. As a matter of fact, it costs us a lot to remove these vehicles from the roads. So we will be not just removing, but putting legislation to prevent people from just putting these old vehicles on the road. Because sometimes we take them out, and people go and put a next one there the next day. And we have to get away from that.
Is that a rough estimate as to the amount?
I can't tell you off my head now, but I know we have done a lot of derelict vehicles, in the hundreds. More than 500. If you were to take a look by Point Celine, that's where we have them stored. And the plan is to get the baler to compact them and to ship them out so that we can get some revenue from it. So we are, as a ministry, we are doing our best, MIT, to see how well we can get rid of the derelict vehicles. Thank you.
Right. So at this point, we would close. I give my closing remarks. Minister, you satisfied with your closing remarks?
No, that was just-
Oh, sorry. So you can proceed. We'll start with Minister Andrews and then Minister Williams.
So thank you very much to the media, to the listeners that are listening to us live on social media. I end by speaking about Hurricane Beryl and us letting the public understand that this is not a walk in the park, the recovery effort. The government received, through its insurance, $118 million to respond to Beryl. And it was for specific purposes, to help with farmers, fishermen, etc. But the experts told us that to get back to some sense of normality in terms of rebuilding, we need approximately $800 or so million. So you understand, $118 million is just a drop in the bucket. The government of Grenada must be commended for its effort in Carriacou and Petit Martinique. Neighboring islands which were affected by Hurricane Beryl have not gotten as close to our recovery efforts in terms of housing and critical infrastructure, and even cleanup. North Carolina, which was affected by some storm not long ago, is still recovering from the debris cleanup. And in Carriacou and Petit Martinique, it is 90% cleaned. That speaks of the stellar leadership by this NDC-led administration. Our farmers, our fishermen have also received much needed support. Homeowners have received much needed support. Homes are being built. Businesses are being supported by the reactivation funds that we've put into the GDP, over $25 million. A number of businesses which were completely destroyed by Hurricane Beryl are now back up and running. As a matter of fact, Carriacou is open for business. As I've mentioned before, while we have achieved a lot, there is still a lot more work to be done. All schools, almost all schools was damaged or destroyed. They're back up and running. Our airport, our seaport, and I can go on and on and on. Those critical infrastructure is back up and in operation. Neighboring islands who were affected by hurricanes 5 years ago or 8 years ago are still in recovery and rebuilding mode. We know that the rebuilding process is not something that is going to be easy. And I beg for and I crave for the patience of the people of Carriacou and Petit Martinique. Our actions thus far has demonstrated that we are not going to leave anyone behind. We have demonstrated that by our actions. And we are committed in assisting as much as we can as a government. I commend our partners like Hands That Serve, like Windward Aid, our church organizations, Red Cross, NADMA, etc. who have all come on board to assist us with making the rebuilding and recovery efforts happen much faster. But it's not over, and we need all hands on deck to continue. So I thank you, and I again crave your patience as we rebuild and recover. Thank you very much.
I just want to first of all to thank everyone for their support, for supporting this government, this party, and our Prime Minister, the Honorable Deacon Mitchell, our leader. Hats off to him for really taking the mantle and bringing this party to a level, that is successful, and we are striving. I want to also thank my NDC members for really electing me in the role of General Secretary, and my role is to ensure that the organs of the party are functioning and the engine is really oiled, and I will do just that. You have my commitment. I want to encourage everyone to get registered because we cannot go backward. We are moving forward, and we have to continue to move forward. Get registered to ensure that this party remains in office, because that's the only way that our country can move forward in a meaningful way. And I just want to say, Brother Tevin, Brother Ron, I just want to thank you for all the support that you have given and for our team, because some people only give us 6 months. And I can tell you, the country is in a much better place than we found it. Yeah. So lastly, I want to encourage everyone that we have a bus tour on Monday, June 9th. The starting point will be on Wall Street, and you can come along and take a look at what the wonderful work we are doing in the constituency, and even on the fort and the new hospital site and so that you can see firsthand these things are not just here on the television or Facebook. So thank you very much, and thank you for having me here, Brother Ron and Brother Tiffin. Thanks.
Thank you very much, comrades. And at this point, we would end the press conference. Thank you very much, members of the media.